Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of A Week in the World. We are live here at 6 p.m. on the 5th of July. Past halfway through the year already, 2021. That, of course, is Pacific Standard Time. We are live right now, manifesting everything you wish. This is the video. This is the one you've all been waiting for. Lori, I so rarely get to say hi to you because I only get to see one or two comments and then poof, they're all gone on me. So, hi, how you doing? Yeah, can't wait for you to come out there to our new favorite spot out there near Revelstoke. It's just a pure joy. It really is. The water is so alive. So, as always, let me express my love for each and every one of you. You know, you're exactly where you need to be right now. You really, really, truly are. And I know it can be difficult to see that. But if you take that in, if you really take that to heart, you can turn away from the idea that you're some sort of victim in your life and instead realize you're actually being incredibly loved your whole life. And that all of life is literally screaming to you and trying to show you where to go. And this is true of many situations. It's true throughout the micro and the macro. Everything speaks to everything, and anything in the everything that doesn't get what the everything is saying about anything. Okay, I just blew my own mind. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we're going to talk about manifesting everything you wish, you know, and for those of you who know me, you know there's got to be a little bit of a catch in this that you're not going to like egoically, right? I mean, you all got that. I think it's past the time where you can expect Garhen just to sit there and give you exactly what you wish. But I must say, I do feel very grateful from a lot of the feedback that I get from people whose lives are being actively changed for the better. And I'm not the instrument of the change of your life. You are. I'm just kind of showing you a pathway and saying, well, you know, you could consider that direction. But you're the one doing it. Power is all with you. You know, as I said to our young friend who was over today, another group member, Dallas, you know, he came and drove us around to get our car since the air conditioning was fixed today, and we're so looking forward to going back to our favorite new spot tomorrow morning. And we won't have to leave quite as early, although I'll be raring to go anyways. And if I get up at 4, I'm going to get Kelly up at 4, and we're going to go. You know, as I said to Dallas, we live in this amazing universe, but we have to understand that it is always in balance. But that doesn't mean, you know, if you look at the yin and yang, there's a pocket of black within the white and a pocket of white within the black, which is really trying to say a whole bunch of things, including that it's all one, because of course it's all bound by that same infinite circle. But it's also letting you know that it's quite possible to have extreme imbalance on one side of the universe and near perfect balance on a planet on the other side of the universe. So what we're witnessing right now is, of course, our planet heading into a zone of extreme imbalance. And the idea that somehow it's just going to, well, fix itself is, you know, a little bit out to lunch. But on to this whole manifesting thing. So first, I want to dispense with the concept of what The Secret tries to tell you. Because, you know, as much as it's possible, and I wouldn't even know why you would want to, but you know, as much as it's possible for you to focus your entire being over and over again, day after day, moment after moment, to the point where you literally manifest that new sports car you want. No one's really given much thought to that. First of all, when we're talking about external objects, it's never the object itself we're really looking for. It's the feeling that we think we're going to have by possessing it, by making it part of us, by seeing it egoically as mine. So the idea of a new house or a new car or new jewelry or whatever the case may be, yes, of course you can manifest those things, but no one's really thinking it all the way through. Let's just look at that brand new car you manifest. Well, our young friend that we know is in a similar situation where he's been given a used luxury vehicle as a gift. And in reality, despite the fact that the vehicle has significant value and that it's a luxury car with all the bells and whistles and a fancier paint job and a better engine and yada, 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 the maintenance risk potential is huge. And this is what we often forget, is that every other thing that we incorporate into our sense of self takes our energy, takes our money, takes our time, takes space, takes all of it. It's really an ultimate expression of greed. And the feedback that the life is trying to give you to make you understand why to crave any object outside of yourself only ends in doom. So now you've got this luxury car and you want it because you look good in it and women look at you when you're in that car. But when something goes wrong with that car, it drains every last penny out. And when someone scratches that car, the repair can't be done because you can't afford it. The insurance is sky high. It only takes premium fuel, so you're paying 20 extra cents per liter. You can't drive in any distance, you can't afford it. That thing that you craved and wished for so much very quickly becomes a liability. I mean, are you aware of the lottery statistics? It's somewhere over 80% of those who win $1 million or more are worse off in 1 year's time. A large percentage of them are actually bankrupt within a year and a half of winning their money. Because no one thinks of the cost of having anything. No matter what you get in this world, if it doesn't exist in nature, it takes maintenance. It's going to cost you something. And one of the worst and heaviest costs to bear is what the cost is that we take on our own shoulders. It's our energy. It's our time. It's our life. And we have to give them in service to these things. And very soon, those things we thought that we were possessing are possessing us and forcing us to keep working as much as we need to. And I learned this lesson, I'm going to say, I'm so grateful that this lesson cost me $6,000. I went out and bought a brand new Sea-Doo one year when I was living over in Europe. I was a soldier, I was single, I was an amateur bodybuilding, I looked pretty hot racing around in my Sea-Doo. And, the women were everywhere. They were hanging off me all the time. All I had to do is invite a girl on the Sea-Doo with me. So I went out and I bought this Sea-Doo. I couldn't afford it. I took out a loan to do it. I ended up having to work so much that when I wasn't working my full-time job, I was picking up little spare jobs for people here and there, doing carpentry work, do whatever, to pay for that Sea-Doo. And an entire summer season, I took it out one time. One time. And at the end of the year, I sold it for a huge loss because now I was going to have to pay to store it on top of that. That was the best lesson ever for me. I learned it for life at that point. When Kelly met me, I had a backpack and 3 boxes, and I thought I was living heavy. I really did. I apologized to her. I said, I'm sorry. There's so much stuff. And she's like, This is everything? And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's a lot. And then I got to her house and my brain snapped and I went over the edge. So the whole idea that everything you wish for has anything to do with things, you're nuts. And anyone who follows that secret crap is nuts too. And the whole secret of the secret is it's just about to make the people who write and put out that junk rich. That's the secret. You're not going to get rich off of it, and rich ain't going to fix you. If you're thinking money's going to do it for you, it's not. It's going to exacerbate the situation even more. Because an unhinged ego in this world is an ego that has lots of money and power, or a perception of power through lots of money. And if your ego is already unhinged, be happy that you are where you're right now. It's saving your ass from what you would do to yourself. I recognized that myself a long time ago when I was handed an insanely large check by a dear friend who could easily afford it. It was pocket change to him, and it was millions of dollars, and I turned it down because I knew it would destroy me at that point in my life. Literally destroy me. So what's Garhen talking about when he says manifesting everything you wish? Well, there's a whole bunch of points to this that are really crucial. And it begins with you understanding that you really got to stop thinking in terms of one little tiny existence. You know, you really have no idea how much of a blip one of your lives that you're experiencing is. You as an egoic form will never be back here. You're just a memory bank, a glorious one with a one-of-a-kind point of view. But I want you to expand your mind and your egoic sense of self right now to understand that you are part of a family of yourself. And that family is going to keep coming back here. And yeah, there's lots of people who say, oh, I'll never come back. You know what? That's a crock. That's ego talking. You're going to come back because once you get there, you understand that the best experiences are actually here. And then once you get here, you're going to try and get back there. And you're going to ping pong around back and forth like that until you finally figure it out. That the only creator of everything is right in here, within you. Never leaves you. It's always part of you. So I want you to start thinking in terms of more than one life. I want you to understand all the magnificent selves and egoic expressions of that whole that represent your family tree that brought the you that are here now. And all of that contributed selves that gave you this life and opportunity. What are you doing with that? And what do you want to do for a future life? For your brother or sister that's going to come back here, and it's going to be you still. You see, that's my point of view. That's the place I live in. I don't think in terms of one life. I think in terms of a whole bunch of lives. Why? Because I'm eternal. I don't have to fuss and fuss and stress about any of it. To be honest, I already have everything I wish. Everything. My heart's desires are happening all the time if I can look and see them. So when you think larger than one life, you're opening yourself to the understanding of how things down here really work. Now, I've also talked about that egoic cloud of humanity. You all think you're one ego. It'd be really nice to think so. And, you know, you'd like to think you're just an individual, but you're really not. There is the egoic oneness of humanity, the whole ego of humanity, of which we are all feeding into and receiving from. depending on our state of vibration. And of course, because we interpret it in our own voice, we think it's ourselves. And we fail to forget that every thought is creative. Every thought is feeding back into that collective whole. So when you want to manifest your heart's desires, when you want to manifest everything that you have ever wished, this is the example I gave Kelly. I have a dream of a string of beautiful yurts along the shores of a magnificent lake where people come to get back in harmony with nature and kayak and feel whole and one and fall back in love with her again. And that's enough. The way it makes me feel, the tears it brings to my eyes with the feeling I will have to wake up and know that this is my purpose every day is to simply step out my door and there it all is. It will draw the right kind of people because we will have no noise there outside of the noise of nature. No stereos, no cell phones, no internet. None of that. The joy and the sandcastle I'm literally creating out of my mind, that's the first step of manifestation right there. Thought. And then I said to Kelly, but I'm totally detached from it. You know what? And I told her why. If it doesn't manifest here, now, for me, all of that thought, all of that passion, all of that feeling has been transferred into that egoic cloud. And simultaneously, at this time or sometime in the future, somebody is going to think those same thoughts. And it's going to manifest, and it'll be there. If I really, really, really wanted it, and if it represents the passion and depth of my entire being, I'm still going to manifest it. But not for the self that I know today as Garhen. It'll be for my brother or my sister who comes after Garhen, who comes back here. I will still be part of that. I do get what I wish all the time. Because what you wish for is a state of being. It's not anything. It's not anyone. It's not any fix for any situation anywhere. It's not about whether your parents talk to you or don't talk to you, or family loves you or doesn't love you, or whether people want to see you or don't want to see you, or whether you think they treat you bad or treat you right. It's about none of that. It's not about what you have. It's about your state of being. And what you really wish for is to feel a sense of peace and a knowing that everything is perfectly okay. That's what is really what it's about. Because the only reason you're wrapping your hands around that car, the only reason you're wrapping your hands around this or that, is to gather enough things to you to buffer the outside and say, I feel okay. I want that dream. I want that so badly that I've been speaking about it and talking about it with others and mentally projecting it since 2 days ago when I found the space. And life spoke to me and said, there's a confluence here. There's a synchronicity of events where a highway worker in frustration makes a call to his supervisor, and his supervisor shows up just as I'm arriving to go to the bathroom, and the supervisor and I talk about the park and what's happening. And then I find out that it's much larger than I thought it was, and there's far more room for yurts than I thought there would be. And all these little confluences come together, and I begin to grow in excitement. You've felt this before in your life, and yet it all falls apart. And you're disappointed and you're upset, and you say to yourself, well, what was that? The other aspect of this comes into is self-centeredness versus selfishness. Sorry, a little bit of, dry denture with the heat. Excuse me. When I say I wish this, I'm wishing it for all of creation. I'm wishing it for every human being. I'm wishing for this feeling that I would get in that place every day. To walk into it and to just be drenched in nature at all times. I mean, Kelly said to me, I would hate to see what's going to happen to you because your energy levels shoot through the roof. Even our friend Sharon, who's out with us, another group member, made a comment like, doesn't he ever just chill and sit? And I said to Kelly today that actually that whole idea about sitting is equating chilling is all about being forced to go to work all day and come home exhausted from doing things we don't really want to do for way too long, and then sitting and thinking that that's chilling. Whereas despite the intense activity I'm engaged in all day, there's not a thing inside me moving. Not a thought in my head. Just that connection. That is manifesting everything I wish. I just got it. Just by that exercise in creating through thought and word and deed. I made a phone call today and I talked to the highways people and I put the bug in their ear and we had a really good conversation, and it's going to take 2 weeks before I hear something back, and I don't care because I've already done all the work that I can do. The only job that life wants from me in order to manifest something is 100% full commitment, full time. Which means whatever you truly wish to manifest, you have to love. And it's not about manifesting the thing, it's about manifesting the feeling. And all that information now sits in that egoic cloud of humanity. And if I don't get to pull it back out, someone else will. And who is that someone else? They're another part of me. They're a future me, maybe. Or the child of someone I know today. Or the family I met on the beach who decides to do it in that place based on the conversation we had. When you stop looking at yourself as this individuated individual, you're going to give up this crap that the secret represents and understand that you need manifest nothing for yourself. Life is going to do that. All you need to do is follow your heart's desire, even if you don't get it. It's all right. Life will give you so much anyways. And this feeling is reproducible anytime. And it's already there. Before I even asked, that place exists. I will sit there one day. In this life, I don't know. I don't care. Because I'm far larger than this life, and so are you. Quit thinking so small. Quit thinking so little. You've been taught that. You've been taught that you're finite. You've been taught that you have a beginning and an end and that you're not part of this wondrous continuum. And if you know that you are in your heart, you can't harm this planet because you know what a gift this planet is. And you know how important it is to preserve it so that everyone who comes back here, including us, and you will, I don't give a crap what you say, you're gonna. there'll be a beautiful world here. A beautiful world waiting just for you. Manifesting everything you wish is about making it all about the other. So I don't like let's say that this deal begins to work out and Kelly and I can't afford to do it. And even with help, we can't afford to do it. And someone else walks in with a lot of money and literally scoops it up from underneath my fingers. It wasn't mine to start with. I had the pleasure of the creation. I own that already. I don't need the physical thing. It's already manifest. It belongs to all of us anyways. This is a new way of looking at your life. And it takes the pressure off. Because you're not here to be under pressure. You're not here to feel like you've got to make it or got to succeed in some way. And what does that really mean? You know, I got to tell you, the second time I died, and I was truly dead. They're not even sure how long because it was 11 minutes from the time the helicopter spotted me lying on the beach. But there was a flight time involved. I don't know. It could have been 12, 15 extra minutes, maybe 25. It's hard to say. The whole point is in that second experience, I was given the choice. It's like, you could stay for now. Like you've done what you came to do. You fulfilled that. But there's a few people in your future they'll make it without you. But, if you could be there, it would help. I didn't really get to decide that on one level because, pretty consciously, I was pretty sure I just wanted to stay. But voila, here I am, and I've been gifted with all these extra years that no one else in my family got. Sometimes I wonder if they didn't give them themselves so that I would have this extra time, and then what am I going to do with that time? So, becoming self-centered also involves understanding that there is a continuity of you. In the First Nations cultures, they refer to it as my ancestors. You are part of this whole. All these versions of yourself. I'm not talking to your family members. I'm talking the versions of you. All the glorious expressions, all glorious one-of-a-kind expressions, never to exist again, one-time appearance only, one show only, with an amazing gift that no one else can give, all led to you. And you're not the end. It leads on. What gifts, what learning, what remembering, and think about that word, remembering. The story of your life today very much involves the story of all the other yous that was here, even though you are not any of those other yous, and yet you are all of you. You, with a big Y, not a Y-E-W. Did that make sense? Because I think it did. They're all spokes, and you're one of those spokes right now too. But the hub, the wheel, the encompassing wheel is all of creation, which you turn in. All of it. That's the size of you. And the center of you, the whole of you, if you look at only the center of a wheel, even though there appears to be ecstatic motion on the outside, the center does not move. The center is bathed in stillness. That center stillness that doesn't move is the core and the progenitor and the projector of all the U's that appear to be spinning out at the edge of the wheel, all the spokes. Everything that's ever occurred is accessible to you, and you can affect everything that's ever occurred. Anything that you relearn now or remember now affects both the past and the future of all of you. So give up the idea that there's something you need to manifest for yourself that's going to make you happy. You are the source of happiness. Give up the concept that any object, any property will truly make you any more than you already are. Because it won't. And I understand that too. Even our thoughts, even our words, even our actions, Om Tat Sat, they don't belong to me. They're not mine. They belong to creation. It's still the same sand on the same beach. I never did own the sand, and the tide's going to come in and wash it away. And maybe my sandcastle won't be formed because the sand's too wet or too dry. It's okay. We're always offered a blank slate and a new beginning. So when it comes to what you think you honestly desire, be willing to look at it very, very closely before you're willing to give the level of a commitment that it truly makes to manifest. And then don't be surprised if it doesn't. Instead, be joyful in the understanding that when you're working on your heart's desires, that's not lost. Not only is it present and available to everyone everywhere in the world, and you know, I'll give you a concrete example of this. And I do owe these gentlemen an apology because I don't remember their names. They were in Germany. But the Wright brothers, and coincidentally, another pair of twin brothers in Germany, both had the same idea at the same time on how to build an airplane. Now, almost to the day. So one of the two of them had the idea first. And in the moment they had the idea, that idea became part of that egoic cloud of humanity. And coincidentally, a hop, skip, and a jump across the ocean away, there was another pair of brothers who had a light bulb moment. And that same idea landed smack in their lap too. This is your opportunity to focusing on a world of love and peace and joy and equality, where war doesn't exist anymore, where we take care of each other and where we advance the whole human race and the possibilities that could open up. It doesn't matter if I don't get that today. Because what I'm offering, what I'm trying to manifest isn't on my schedule. It's already written. It has a time, and when the time is right, it will manifest. And whoever it manifests for is still me. Is still part of me. Look beyond your sense of self. Look to the larger and higher self that you truly are, and see that no matter what it is that you're putting into that egoic cloud, all of humanity can either benefit from it or face a detriment from it. Choose carefully what you think you desire, and be very, very wary of garnering objects and things, because they will not bring any sense of wholeness to you. They will only bring you trouble as they slowly decay from the day you get them. I really hope this has helped. I really hope you understand that your life is not a single point in time. It's not a single birth and a single death. It is a huge, never-ending circle of existence. And you, what you truly are, is so magical and so large, so macro. It's the whole wheel. Think about the next spoke coming. the next carnation of you, the next gift of creation. For the true things that we desire are within ourselves already. And when life strips it all away, you'll see it's there, waiting for you this whole time. Even Kelly's realized now, we've been out at that spot day after day for 12, 13, 14 hours at a time from sunrise to sunset. And in that, Kelly realizes and is starting to benefit from the energy that she sees me, we were laughing today. I was making fun of her about me sucking at nature's breast. But when I step out into nature, I'm totally open to it. I just it's like sticking in a battery and jumping with 10,000 cars. I'm bouncing all day long, and yet I'm totally at peace. But over this last week, Kelly's own energy levels, her own sense of connectivity while she's out there, her willingness to go farther and do more, is expressing itself and growing. We are designed to live in this state of communion with our environment, and we have created an artificial environment around ourselves that only offers a dysfunctional communion. Don't add to it. Go out into nature's arms. Sit there and contemplate what I've talked about this evening, and think about it the next time you think that there's something that you really, really desire. And find out if you honestly desire it or you're desiring something else that you already possess. We're gone tomorrow. We're going back to that place of solitude. I have some more envisioning to do, more opportunity to look and to explore and to bathe in the natural beauty and surroundings. I would invite any one of you that can come up and see us. You're more than welcome to join us. There's nothing I love more than getting someone alone in a kayak. Namaste. Have a beautiful night. Much love.